Did he jump or was he pushed? Trump's chief strategist Steve Bannon is out of the White House and will leave today, and friends say Bannon the Barbarian will want revenge. Steve Bannon was dramatically forced out of the White House Friday in the latest earthquake to rock Donald Trump, and friends predicted he would go to war on his adversaries. He leaves with immediate effect amid competing claims over whether he was fired or quit first. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly and Steve Bannon have mutually agreed today would be Steve's last day, a statement from Press Secretary Sarah Sanders read on Friday. "We are grateful for his service and wish him the best." The removal opens the way for a war waged by what one source called Bannon the Barbarian on his West Wing enemies, the group he calls the globalists, which included Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, and Gary Cohn, Trump's chief economic advisor. Bannon is expected to see Breitbart, the website he turned into a vehicle for his America First political ideas, turn on Trump like they treated Obama. One Breitbart editor tweeted one word: war. Its White House correspondent tweeted, "And kids, that's the day when Bannon the Barbarian was born." The New York Times reports that a person close to Bannon insists it was his idea. A White House aide told DailyMail.com on Friday that Bannon submitted an offer of his resignation on August 7, but would not say whether Trump had accepted it at that time. Trump and Bannon are still discussing Bannon's future, according to the Times. The move will send the most conservative and lightning rod leader in the Trump West Wing out after less than 7 months. Bannon had one hell of a run, internet publisher Matt Drudge tweeted on Friday. Bannon's departure makes him the 6th top-shelf aide to depart since the President January 20 inauguration, including former National Security Advisor Gen. Mike Flynn, Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, Press Secretary Sean Spicer and 2 communications directors, Mike Dubka and Anthony Scaramucci. When the dust settles, Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner will be the sole remaining leg of the three-legged stool forming Trump's initial inner council that also included Priebus. A senior White House aide told DailyMail.com on Tuesday that Bannon's job was secure. "Steve's staying," the official said then. But after that, the former Trump campaign CEO, who was once executive chairman of Breitbart News, took down his guard and gave an interview to a liberal magazine in which he contradicted the president's position on North Korea and trashed his more moderate colleagues for their views on an economic war with China. And he tried gamely to frame that interview as a win for the president, claiming the resulting furor drew attention away from Trump's widely panned responses to the weekend's racial violence in Charlottesville, Virginia. Trump has not yet commented on Twitter or elsewhere. Bannon is famously reclusive with his communications, eschewing social media and speaking only to a handful of reporters on a regular basis. But he was said on Friday to be furious over Bannon's habit of taking credit for his 2016 election. In Devil's Bargain, a book by Joshua Green published last month, Bannon is painted as the mastermind behind Trump's ascendancy. And the president was not pleased. "That effing Steve Bannon is taking credit for my election," Trump recently told a confidant, according to the left-leaning BuzzFeed website. The book is a look back on Bannon's role in leveraging Trump's connection with his base last year as his populist economic message attracted middle-class white voters. Trump took pains to avoid backing him too firmly during a press conference on Tuesday, referring to him only as Mr. Bannon while defending him against charges of bigotry. "He is not a racist. I can tell you that. He is a good person. He actually gets a very unfair press in that regard," Trump said in response to a question about whether he would keep him. "We'll see what happens with Mr. Bannon. He is a good person and I think the press treats him, frankly, very unfairly." Bannon was a far-right outlier in the Trump campaign, helping the president coalesce his messaging around what he called economic nationalism. That platform, a combination of focusing on growing jobs and refocusing global trade in America's favor, won him broad support in America's heartland. It's unclear where Bannon will go from the West Wing. A senior executive at Breitbart News did not immediately respond to a question on Friday about whether its longtime chairman would return. but a close associate of Bannon's told DailyMail.com to expect Breitbart to wage all-out war with the White House now that its standard-bearer would be on the outside. They're going to treat Trump like they treated Obama, since they won't see any meaningful difference anymore, the source said of the Breitbart website. The online news outlet Axios reported Friday morning that Bannon was setting himself up to be a martyr, a White House nationalist hero forced out by globalists. A source close to Bannon said, "This week is a good window into what Bannon outside the White House would look like, a strong defense of POTUS and fire and fury for enemies of the Trump agenda. Get ready for Bannon the Barbarian." Bannon, who joined Trump's presidential campaign a year and a day ago as its CEO, was credited with bringing discipline and focus to the then scattered operation. He came directly from Breitbart News, where he set the tone for a ragtag journalism operation known for the same kind of right-wing populist messaging that made Trump seem like a native son in any corner of America's heartland where he visited with disaffected white male voters. A Harvard Business School and Georgetown University Foreign Service School graduate and veteran of investment banking titan Goldman Sachs, Bannon later struck it rich running his own investment firm. A large part of his lifetime income came from a single deal, arranging long-term residual checks from a then-fledgling TV sitcom called Seinfeld when he helped negotiate the sale of Castle Rock Entertainment to CNN. Along the way he also produced 18 Hollywood films between 1991 and 2016, including some conservative ideological polemics like Occupy Unmasked. Before going to Goldman, however, Bannon was a U.S. Navy officer for 7 years. He served in the Persian Gulf during the Iran hostage crisis, where witnessing the Jimmy Carter administration mishandle an international debacle turned him into a Ronald Reagan admirer. Before entering the White House, Bannon also co-founded and chaired the Government Accountability Institute, a nonprofit that helped with the publication of Clinton Cash, a book that outlined Hillary Clinton's alleged financial conflicts